All right, welcome to this explainer. We're going to dive right in today because we are tackling something that literally has the potential to fundamentally rewire how you operate day to day. We're looking at the framework laid out in Brian Tracy's masterwork, No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline. Look, if you've ever felt like there's a gap between what you're actually capable of and what you're currently achieving, well, this was built exactly for you. We are going to unlock the absolute mechanics of true potential.
So why do so many of us fall short of that potential? It's a question that haunts high achievers and, honestly, everyday folks alike. I mean, we all set these massive goals, right? Getting in shape, launching a business, finally writing that novel. But somewhere along the line, the drive just kind of fades. The excuses creep in, and we just don't reach the finish line. It's a universal struggle. But to actually solve it, we first have to diagnose what is secretly sabotaging us.
And that sabotage usually takes two distinct forms. Think of them as our two worst enemies. On one side, you've got the path of least resistance. This is just our natural biological tendency to take the easy way out in almost every situation. Looking for shortcuts, arriving a bit late, leaving a little early. And on the other side, its sinister cousin, the expediency factor. This is that intense desire to do what's fast and fun right now, with absolutely zero concern for the long-term consequences of our behavior. To make all of this actionable, we're going to follow a really straightforward 5-part journey today. 1. 2 enemies of success. 2. Defining true self-discipline. 3. Blueprint for personal success. 4. Mastering business and life. And finally, 5. The ultimate payoff. Kicking things off with Section 1, 2 enemies of success, the daily battle. Tracy frames this silent war perfectly. Literally every minute of every day, there's a battle going on inside of you. It's like you've got the angel on one shoulder, urging you to do what's right, what's hard, and what is absolutely necessary for success. But on the other shoulder, you have the devil of the expediency factor, constantly tempting you with what's fun, what's easy, and honestly, what's of little to no real value. To become everything you are capable of becoming, you have to consciously fight and win this daily battle against ease. Which brings us to Section 2. Defining true self-discipline, the ultimate antidote. The source material for our explainer today, No Excuses, serves as a literal blueprint for defeating procrastination. Tracy argues that discipline is the master key. It's that magic quality that opens all doors. Without it, even someone with every blessing of background and top-tier education will very rarely rise above mediocrity. But with it, man, everything else becomes possible. So what is it exactly? Well, Tracy shares this fascinating anecdote in the book. He once sat down with Koppmeyer, who's basically a legend in the field of success. Koppmeyer had compiled 1,000 distinct success principles over 50 years of deep research. When Tracy asked him which of those 1,000 was the absolute most important, Koppmeyer didn't even hesitate. He quoted Albert Hubbard, saying, "Self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not." He noted that without this one single principle, the other 999 simply do not work. At the very root of this master key is the incredibly difficult concept of delayed gratification. True self-mastery requires you to deny yourself those easy, immediate pleasures that lead so many people totally astray. You literally have to put off satisfaction in the short term so you can enjoy much, much greater rewards in the long term. That right there is the true engine of success. Moving right along to Section 3, Blueprint for Personal Success, the inner game. Now, Tracy doesn't just leave self-discipline as some abstract, floaty concept. He actually breaks it down across 21 specific areas of life. The journey starts with personal success, so your character, your goals, your courage. Then it moves outward to business and finances, covering things like time management and leadership. And finally, it touches the good life, your health, your happiness, your relationships. But it all starts from within. Let's be totally honest for a second, though. Looking at a massive list of 21 areas can feel incredibly daunting. Forming the habit of discipline is intensely hard at first. Tracy totally acknowledges this, quoting Goethe, "Everything is hard before it's easy." But the beauty of this is that once these habits are firmly entrenched, they become entirely automatic. In fact, with enough practice, it actually becomes physically and mentally uncomfortable for you to not behave in a disciplined manner. Tracy uses this brilliant metaphor of a chemistry lab to explain this transformation. Think of your personality starting out like a liquid. It's soft, it's fluid, kind of formless. But when you put it over a Bunsen burner and apply the intense heat of self-discipline, when you really exert yourself to do what is hard and necessary, your personality literally crystallizes. It hardens at a much higher level. You are permanently transformed into a stronger, way more resolute person.
Let's transition to Section 4, Mastering Business and Life, the Outer Game.
So how do you actually defeat the expediency factor when you're sitting at your desk? Well, here are the exact action exercises from the book. Step 1, make a daily list of everything you have to do. Step 2, organize that list using the ABCD method to prioritize. Step 3, identify your A1 task, the one single thing that is absolutely most critical for that day. And Step 4, which is definitely the most discipline-heavy step, work single-mindedly on that A1 task until it is 100% complete. No distractions, no casually checking your phone. To keep you on track with that A1 task, Tracy provides this ultimate guiding question. He asks, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? Asking yourself this question every single minute of every day, and then actually disciplining yourself to act on the answer, is the absolute fastest way to multiply your chances of success. It forces you right out of the path of least resistance and shoves you directly back into purposeful action. And finally, Section 5, the ultimate payoff, why this matters. This framework completely reorients how we view discipline. A lot of people view self-discipline as a punishment, right? Like it's a deprivation of joy. But Brian Tracy argues the exact opposite. He says there is a direct, undeniable link between discipline and self-esteem.
There's a direct relationship at play here. The more you practice self-mastery and self-control, the more you actually like and value yourself. Mastering your appetites doesn't make you miserable. It literally makes you feel happier and more powerful as a person. You see yourself in a much more positive light. It's basically the ultimate life hack. Doing the hard thing is exactly what generates your own personal pride. To wrap up our analysis of Tracy's framework, it's super fitting to look at this defining quote from Napoleon Hill, which Tracy uses to summarize the book's entire promise. Hill said, "Self-discipline is the master key to riches." And listen, that doesn't just mean financial riches. It is the key to self-esteem, to self-respect, and personal pride. Developing this habit is your absolute guarantee that you will eventually overcome all the obstacles in your path. Which brings us to the end of our explainer and leaves you with one final, unavoidable question. You know the mechanics now. You know the two enemies of success. You know the true power of delayed gratification. So, what excuse are you going to drop today? Where are you going to stop taking the path of least resistance? Right now. The choice and the discipline is entirely yours.